Up in the Big Bend area, moving inland, of course. It made landfall early this morning, but it is still an 80-mile-per-hour hurricane, Cat 1 hurricane up in Florida and moving up into Georgia. So we still have a very serious weather situation here in our state.
Welcome to Wink News, the Weather Authority, where we are fully covering Hurricane Idalia. Good afternoon, I'm Taylor Wirtz.
And I'm Lois Tomey. So let's go right over to our staff of meteorologists who have been covering this all night long. Let's go to meteorologist Lauren Kreidler, who has a look at what's happening right now at 1 o'clock.
Yes, good afternoon. So we are still seeing those cloudy skies, those rain bands working their way through our area. This is overlooking that downtown Fort Myers live cam. And then what we're seeing are those rain bands continuing throughout our area. You see our areas, Naples, Marco Island, not seeing as much rain now, but these rain bands stretching from Fort Myers all the way to Lake Placid still working their way through. And then we have one over here with some offshore showers and storms, and then some storms working from Port Charlotte towards Arcadia, and then even some more to the north near Northport. But zooming out, you see this is where Hurricane Idalia is still a hurricane. This made landfall at 7:45 this morning as a very strong Category 3 hurricane. And now, as you see, it's continuing to push away, but those rain bands continuing to impact our weather here. But as Lois mentioned, that latest advisory has come out. So this is the 1 o'clock advisory for Hurricane Idalia, now with 80-mile-per-hour winds. So when we were tracking this with you at 2 this morning, we were seeing these winds continue to increase. It was continuing to develop, and we saw it eventually make a Category 4 status before it weakened back down to a 3. Then it made landfall, now at a Category 1, moving to the north-northeast at 20 miles per hour. So looking at that advisory, you see that the cone has this going off to sea, brushing along the South Carolina coast, and then eventually making its way back out into the Atlantic. Looking at those wind gusts, it is still gusty. So even though the storm is far, far away from us now, we are still feeling those impacts, as I mentioned. 43-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Sanibel, 41 in Lehigh Acres, 32 in Marco Island, 33 in Northport. So definitely feeling those strong winds, and we can expect to through the next few hours as these rain bands continue to work their way through. So pausing this around 2:30, you see more of that extra moisture out there from the Gulf thanks to these storms working their way through our area, and that will continue into the early evening hours. So we can expect to see storms into the overnight hours as they continue to work their way through. But coming up, we'll time these out for you and have a look at that extended 10-day forecast.